A woman says she's exhausted by the fact that she can't afford rent even though she's cut back on eating.
There's a woman on TikTok who is going viral right now because her rent went from $1,300 to $1,800 a month with no warning. That is a significant amount of money for your rent to increase to the point where that would make or break somebody's ability to pay rent. Landlords and corporations are continuing to price gouge and not care about the well-being of their tenants or their customers or anybody, because it's all about money at this point. I would recommend that this girl see if she can find a cheaper place, but with the increase of rent, is that possible? I have no idea. It is going to take a lot of work to get out of that situation. She's either going to have to get a second job if she doesn't already have one, or scrape up some funds to figure out if she can move to a cheaper place, get a bunch of roommates. I mean, none of it is ideal. $500 could prevent you from saving money monthly too, which is something that I come on here and preach about. Taking your savings, putting it into a high yield savings or a compound interest account, watching your money grow. How are we supposed to do that when it's $500 increasing in rent? Like, that's insane. I would love for people to just stop being selfish and let people live their lives.
Hello YouTube, welcome to Reality of Life. I am back again with more videos to react to. This time I will be reacting to videos about the high cost of rent. High cost of rent is everywhere in the country right now, not just in a particular place. Guys, please leave a comment below and let us know what you guys are experiencing wherever you live at. I am in St. Louis, Missouri, and it's the same thing across board. So guys, let's check out the next video.
So homelessness in the U.S. had a double-digit increase since last year. It surged 18%, a new record. And I feel like it's an appropriate time to bring this little map back around. I just really think it captures the essence of these two places. So the UN had a vote to make food a human right. Only two places voted against it: the U.S. and Israel. Do with that information what you will.
I don't know what she's trying to imply here, but oh well. And in my city here in St. Louis, I see a lot of people sleeping in their cars at nighttime. And I wondered why, what was going on. Now I kind of realized, okay, this is the situation here. Homelessness has been on the rise, and a lot of people can't afford rent. That's really sad.
Homelessness increased by the most in history this year, even more than during the financial crisis of 2008, and it skyrocketed by almost 20%, far outpacing the increase last year. The worst part is that of all age groups, minor children experienced the greatest increase in homelessness. A full 33%, one-third more children are homeless this year than were last year. These are the unfortunate consequences of a devastating U.S. economy, which has faced spiraling housing prices and hyperinflation. Many people that could just not absorb any further increases were unfortunately forced into homelessness. The fact that homelessness has increased the most on record is something that few people are talking about, because it flies in the face of the narrative that the U.S. economy is doing so well. But the facts, as hard as they are to hear, are very clear. More people are homeless, more people are relying on government aid, and more people are struggling just to be able to afford food. That is the state of affairs in the United States of America. You just watched a special economic episode of the D3 List, a podcast about dumb, desperate, and diabolical business decisions.
So I'm putting the rest of my stuff in storage, but yeah, so the hotel that I went to yesterday, I went to two. They're both just seedy hotels, right? But then they have the nerve to charge people like find a house or something, because these apartments are.
My thing is, if you can't afford to pay rent, why would you want to stay in a hotel? Hotels are definitely more expensive than renting a house. You know, when you rent an apartment, let's say you're renting for, now apartment has gone up, so let's say $1,000 a month, and you paying $350 a week. If you multiply that by 4, that's more expensive than renting an apartment. But I get it, you still got to pay utilities, maybe light bill, water bill. But I believe renting an apartment will still be the best way to go. But I understand people are struggling right now and they can't even afford to rent an apartment.
Charging per week. I think it was $480 a week, and it had 2 beds.
Oh, $480 a week. That's close to $500 a week. So you see, renting an apartment definitely is the best way to go. I mean, if you have that kind of money to pay for a week, you know? But let's keep going.
In it, and I'm like, I'm not paying that. I don't even make that. I don't make that amount of money. I would have to put my whole freaking paycheck just to pay the room, and that's what I'm just working literally just to find a place to sleep. Like, I get it. We have to live. I get it. We have to survive. But I'm not paying that. That's outrageous. I'll just save my money and work on trying to get me a house or something when the housing market. The thing about it is, if you can't afford it, you just can't afford it.
I've heard about a few people who lived in their cars for like 2 years and they had a full-time job, good paying jobs. And while they lived in their car for that long, they were able to save up down payment for the house. And if she can do that, I don't know how much she makes, but if she can do that and withstand the inconvenience of sleeping in her car and raise that money, she probably can do it and raise a down payment for the house. Because the way things are going right now, I really believe owning your own property is the best way to go than paying rent. Some of you might disagree with me, but you still build some type of equity in your own home. But some people would disagree and tell you that renting is way better. But hey,
work to save my money to get me another place. That's it. Because it's really not worth living in a hotel. How are you going to save money if you got to pay $480 for a hotel room? That just doesn't make sense. So, and I'm not bitching. I'm not mad at nobody but myself, right? So I'm not pointing fingers at nobody. I'm not. But even people that say that they're going to help you, they start to renege, right? People renege on what they say because you can tell the way that they treat you that they don't really want to help you, and that's okay. And I'm not mad at anybody for not wanting to help. It is what it is. I'm not, listen, I will stay in my car if I need to. That's that. So I don't.
if people don't, if it seems like people are not helping right now, it's because a lot of people are also struggling. You know, a lot of people are just good at managing their problems, and they don't want a lot of people out there to know that they're also struggling. But a lot of people are struggling right now, so don't feel bad if nobody's coming to help. You know, I don't want to just judge people. I've been in this situation myself, guys. But we all need to start making better life choices, and you know, yeah, just we all need to make better life choices so we don't find ourselves in these types of situations.
Not paying for a hotel room is too outrageously expensive. I couldn't possibly afford that. I would literally just be going to work every day to pay for a seedy hotel and barely scraping by, barely getting food, just barely surviving. Like, you know, I still have upkeep on my car and things that I have to pay for, so it's hard. It is what it is. This is the reality of life. Reality of life.
That's what the name of my channel is. Reality of life. Welcome to it again. Things happen, guys. You know, I'm not judging. Again, I've been in this situation myself, and it took a while for me to try to dig myself out of it. It wasn't easy. Again, it's all about the choices we make sometimes. I'm not judging again, but we got to make better choices. All right, guys, let's check out the next video.
To put it into perspective, let's read this together. The median rent for a 2-bedroom apartment in Hillsborough County increased almost 40% between 2019 and 2024. We know that the median income/wage has not increased at the same rate, making housing much more difficult to afford for lower-income individuals and families. The number of people who are experiencing chronic homelessness increased almost 160% in New Hampshire between 2019 and 2023. And while this was happening, the city of Manchester took apart all of the homeless encampments and have been displacing them. And then once they displace them, then suddenly that encampment can't be there anymore. And the police go, and it's a spectacle. Like, it's a whole spectacle. They take the whole thing apart and just say, find somewhere else.
This is just sad for what is happening to people out there. You know, I don't know the solution to this problem other than, you know, the economy getting better and for people to get good and better jobs so they can afford a place. That's all I can think about.
New data from federal officials are now showing a concerning trend. Homelessness is on the rise nationwide. The United States saw an over 18% increase in homelessness this year. Homelessness also increased by 12% last year. Federal officials say a lack of affordable housing, a surge of migrants entering the U.S., and devastating natural disasters were factors behind rising homelessness this year.
Maybe we need to stop sending money to Ukraine for the war. I'm just kidding, guys. I have no say in what's going on with the war in Ukraine. There's a lot of problem going on with this, so I have no idea how to solve this problem.
The system is designed to keep you down. Allow me to explain. I met a lady who's now living at one of those extended stays. I talked to her very briefly. I asked her, how long were you living here? She said, just over 2 years. I said, wow. I said, how much are you paying? She said, I'm paying $1,800+ per month. And not only that, she's raising her 2 sons in an extended stay. Power off to you, lady. My hero. Now, I know some people who are paying less than $1,800 per month in mortgage. I know someone who's paying $900 per month. And this with the taxes and all the insurance every month. Now, let's take this same lady to any bank in America who can show she was paying over $1,800+ per month for over 2 years. I mean, she can show it with receipt. And even if she come up with down payment 10%, 15%, they will still not give her a mortgage. Why? Because the system will tell the banker, no, she can't handle it. She don't have the right job. She's not good on paper. She's not this. She's not that. Single mom. This, that. She's going through this. She's this and that and this, that. She missed payment here. She missed payment there. No.
Let me jump in real quick. For those of you who know who Dave Ramsey is, he said it best. Dave Ramsey said he doesn't have any credit. So, which means, but he's worth over $700 million. But Dave Ramsey said he can go to an apartment complex and try to rent a place and he will get denied. He will probably try to buy a house on credit. He will get denied because he doesn't have any credit. But he can actually buy the entire building, which is asinine. That's what this man is talking about. Cash still rules. I mean, it's good to build your credit, but you still need to be able to make a lot more money in cash where they can actually see that your cash flow is solid. The system is designed for people that have good cash flow.
The same woman who kept roof over her head for over 2 years, paying $1,800+, kept roof over her head. The system will tell the bankers no, she can't pay $1,800 mortgage every month. You see, no, come on now. You see how it go. She can pay $1,800 per month every month for over 2 years, but the system will tell the bankers no, she can't pay mortgage $1,800 per month. So she will get denied. Some people just want to live. The banks are not there to help you. The system controls the bank. Credits is a part of the system, and they control the banks. Corporations control the banks. The system will not help you. That's why you gotta burst through. Some people say, oh, the system is broken. No, the system is not broken. It just was not designed for you.
Yeah, the system is not designed for you. If you can't show a solid cash flow, the system is designed for people that are already making money. Period.
Housing market is absolutely insane. Like, how are people living right now? Like, I cannot find a place to live. I have to move out by May. And I've been looking, and I know realistically I'm not going to be able to afford a place by myself. I have to find like a roommate or something, but people are asking $1,200 to $1,500 to $1,600 for a room.
Wait, did she say $1,200 to $1,600 a month for the room? Not even the entire 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom. Man, she needs to move out of that city and move to a cheaper town.
Room that I'm going to be like living inside someone's house. Also, California decided to super freaking windy right now. Like, California woke up windy AF. Oh. Like, a room costs $1,200 to $1,600, and you're living with someone, and a lot of these people are crazy. Like, what they're asking for, like, oh, you have to be gone from like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You can't use the kitchen. How am I going to eat? How am I going to survive?
Honey, they just want you to pay their mortgage. I mean, if they're telling you to pay $1,500, $1,600 for the room, and you don't have to be there between 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and you can't use the kitchen, you're just paying the mortgage for them. That's all I see here. That's shitty.
Gotten absolutely no luck trying to find a room to rent. Like, no freaking luck. I found a single mom, but like, honestly, I don't want to live with somebody that has kids, because they have kids and you don't know how their kid's gonna act, and like getting woken up screaming by kids, that's annoying.
I wouldn't want to live with anyone with kids either, so I don't blame her there.
This smells so good. I'm making dulce de leche latte. Honestly, I'm not very hopeful because I don't know where I'm gonna live. Like, it's insane out there. The housing crisis is criminal. No one should be charging $1,200 to $1,500 to $1,600 for a room. A room. Not even like your own personal space. No personal bathroom, and you can't use the kitchen. So if you guys see me living in my car, mind your business, because I think that's where I'm heading towards.
This is sad. It's sad that
So good.
It's sad that this is where it has come to. Well, I don't blame her. You need to do what you got to do to survive. But $1,200 to $1,600 for just a room, that's highway robbery, in my own opinion.
18% increase in homelessness year over year, the number one reason we don't have enough affordable housing. And what you're going to get are a bunch of politicians jumping on the microphone saying, this is a housing crisis, and I don't believe a word that they say. This seems to be the only crisis in America that requires absolutely no action, and it makes no sense. If you're an elected official and you call this a housing crisis, you should be legally obligated to show the receipts on what you've done to actually solve for it, like you do every other crisis. What have you done to create incentives so that people want to build affordable housing? We know the housing market isn't going to create it, because the housing market, it makes profitable housing, not affordable housing. So if the government doesn't jump in, no one's going to do it, and you know that. What have you done to get rid of archaic and stupid zoning rules that prevent the creation of affordable housing? Why are you catering to people who are worried about the character of a neighborhood, when you have actual people in those neighborhoods who are experiencing homelessness. They are the priority, not the character people, not that we can't.
I think the reason for zoning and all that regulation is America is a first world country, so they have to make sure things are in order and not looking all chaotic, like most third world countries where people just put up structures anywhere without proper zoning. So that is why I think the zoning is important, and all those regulations are also important. That's just my own take, but you guys can leave a comment below on what you think is right.
Build over 3 stories tall. Stop listening to that nonsense. What have you done with the budget you are in control of? State, county, and city, because that's it. If they're not creating affordable housing, nobody is. So they don't get to call it a crisis until they actually respond like it's a crisis.
Guys, there's a lot of you that know more than I do about this topic. You should leave your comment below and let us know what you think is the right way to go about this homeless situation that is going on in the country. Let's check out the next video.
Yeah, I have the luxury of a roof over our head. This is the roof over our head. We have cars going through. We get tired. We're exhausted. And a lot of times we can get that good sleep and all of a sudden a car revs up an engine. A car accident happens. We get woken up. So we don't get that full night's sleep. By the time we get to sleep, it's midnight. We face I'm not getting up and being able to use the restroom. We get arrested for an 8-hour in public. And it's like, well, they say there's supposedly porta potties around.
I feel sorry for anyone who's homeless right now. Guys, if you're watching this, I live in St. Louis, Missouri, and we had this really bad snowstorm. And all I can think about is the homeless people out there. I know we need to make better choices so we don't find ourselves in that situation. But life happens. Things happen. And this is hard. It's hard to watch.
A porta potty over there locked up behind a fence. The ones that aren't locked up behind a fence are locked. They tell us, there's porta potty, but they're locked. How are we going to use it in the middle of the night? Lynx is gracious enough to let us go inside when they are open, to get AC, to get the water fountain, to use the restroom, to get that opportunity.
That helps. I'm not going to lie, because I know a lot of people will say, like you said, lock the doors. No, you can't. So
they see us coming with our bags, and they just kind of, remember, we don't come in yet. When opportunity arises, jobs are hard. Our ID said general delivery. Oh, we don't want to hire you because of that. You don't have a roof, okay? I still have a mailing address. I can still go get my mail. So we deal with that. People don't realize how hard it is to actually go get a job. Oh, well, you must be homeless. Do I live homeless? My bags? No.
I don't understand how they'll reject you on a job because you're homeless. I mean, isn't that the reason why? I wouldn't say the reason why, but you need the job to be able to get yourself off the streets. I don't think that's fair for jobs to reject people simply because they're homeless. I know you need an address, but if I'm homeless, then if you want to help me, you give me a job. That way I can afford to pay rent to move myself off the streets.
Exactly. And it's just, so what? I missed one day, Saturdays, of not getting a shower. I still have baby wipes. I can still freshen up. I have no idea. I can still be able to brush my teeth, all that. Change my clothes, do what I have to do. So it is hard, Day labor. Yes, we can go and do day labor, but you're coming up with $80, $90 a day. You stop and think, okay, $80, $90 a day. You still have to get breakfast, lunch, dinner. The government funding for the free phones have been cut off. Now we have to go and pay for a cell phone bill.
I know people that are homeless living in their cars, and nobody even know that they're homeless. And they still get up in the morning, brush their teeth, clean themselves up with the best way they know how to. And they go to their jobs smiling like everything is okay. When people are homeless, please, guys, if you're hiring out there, be kind and help them out. Life is rough, you know. This reality of life. Life is tough. It's not easy.